Last week, we watched Mansa Musa build something extraordinary, a mosque that still stands today, a university with 25,000 students, a library with 800,000 manuscripts. He had shown the world that the Mali Empire was not just the wealthiest civilization on earth. It was also one of the most learned. But today, we reveal a side of Mansa Musa that history rarely talks about. Because for all his faith, for all his generosity, for all his love of knowledge, Mansa Musa was also something else, a conqueror. Let us be clear about what this means. The Mali Empire that Mansa Musa inherited was already vast, 2,000 miles wide, stretching from the Atlantic coast in the west to the great bend of the river Niger in the east. It was already the largest empire in West African history, and Mansa Musa made it even larger. During his reign, he expanded the empire to its absolute greatest territorial peak. He conquered 24 cities, 24, each one with its own walls, its own markets, its own army, its own ruler, all of whom now answered to Mansa Musa. But of all his conquests, there was one that stood above the rest. Gao, the great city of Gao, capital of the Songhai people, one of the most powerful and sophisticated cities in West Africa, situated at the great bend of the river Niger, commanding the trade routes of the entire eastern Sahel. Whoever controlled Gao controlled the eastern half of West Africa, and Mansa Musa wanted Gao. The campaign was swift and decisive. The Mali Imperial Army, thousands of soldiers, cavalry on horseback, archers, and infantry, moved toward Gao with a force that left little doubt about the outcome. The Songhai king faced a simple choice: fight and be destroyed, or submit and be absorbed into the greatest empire on earth. He chose wisely. In a ceremony that would have been extraordinary to witness, the Songhai king knelt before Mansa Musa. He bowed his head. He offered his submission. And the city of Gao, its markets, its trade routes, its wealth, and its people became part of the Mali Empire. Mansa Musa took the Songhai king's 2 sons back to Niani with him, not as prisoners in the traditional sense, but as guests of the royal court, as future diplomats who would maintain the bond between the Songhai people and the Mali Empire. It was politically brilliant, because Mansa Musa understood something that many conquerors throughout history have failed to grasp. You can win a battle with force, but you keep an empire with wisdom. And so the people of Gao, rather than being crushed or humiliated, were welcomed into the world's greatest civilization. Their trade continued. Their culture survived. Their language remained. They simply now paid tribute to Niani, and in return, they received the protection of the most powerful army in West Africa. The roads were safe, the trade routes were secure, the caravans moved freely. This was the genius of Mansa Musa's empire. Not just conquest, but the ability to make people genuinely glad to be conquered. By the end of his reign, the Mali Empire stretched across 2 million square miles. To put that in perspective, it was larger than Western Europe, larger than the United States east of the Mississippi, the single largest empire in West African history. And it was not built on fear alone. It was built on trade, on scholarship, on faith, on the simple understanding that an empire which benefits its people is an empire that lasts. Mansa Musa was a man of prayer. He was a man of learning. He was a man of extraordinary generosity. And he was a man who could march an army of thousands across the Sahel and bring an entire people to their knees. Faith and conquest, scholarship and war. In Mansa Musa, they were never opposites. They were simply two different expressions of the same vision, a vision of an empire so great, so just, so powerful, that the world had no choice but to take notice. And next week, the world finally did. Because what Mansa Musa did next would put his face on the maps of Europe for the first time in history. Subscribe to the African Codex, because the most surprising chapter of this story is still to come.